So if you hear me, I was like this technical stuff before we start. If you can hear me, please everyone, just write in the chat if you can hear me. I hear you. Okay, so everybody hear me. So if you can't hear anything, just try to go out and then join again. And don't have your speakers on, guys. Okay, so I will just start to share my screen so we can start with the seminar. Let's see, okay. And 1 second. Okay, guys, so this seminar will be about manicure, how to do manicure with the e-file, how to choose the best bead if you're going to work with a diamond bead or a ceramic bead. And I've also explained for you what they are. So that's why I have 2 videos on, and don't ignore my ugly nails. I'm going to have gloves on so you can see them. 1 second. Okay, so before we start, I just want everybody to understand what a diamond bead or a ceramic bead are. So I will show you in the video here. Okay, so diamond beads, they look like this. So there are many different ones and shapes, and I just wanted to tell you that the pink mark is actually a red mark, but this brand has pink. So it means it's very fine. So it's suitable for people that don't have like very hard cuticles, for example, or rough skin. And then we have the blue mark, which means like it's medium, so it's a bit more coarse. You can see it also how it looks like, right? And then we have different shapes, and I will tell you which one to work with on all the different types of cuticles. Okay, and I don't have a ceramic bead because I don't use that one, but I have this one. So ceramic beads are plastic and they are white, but this one, did I paint here? No. Okay, ignore that weird painting that I did on the screen. Anyways, so ceramic beads, they are white in plastic, and they may be suitable for other cuticle types. This one particularly is a carbide bead, but it's super fine. So yellow mark means it's super gentle, but I feel like this one has the same effect as ceramic bead ones. So we just place them here. And let's start with the seminar. Okay, so you're going to choose which, if you're going to work with a diamond or ceramic bead, depending on the cuticle and skin type. So cuticle and skin type, they are totally different things, and also the nail type. There's like, you can be a moist nail type, but you can have a little bit harder cuticles, for example, or it can be an oily nail type and have really dry cuticles. So that's like separated from each other. So we will start by just, is it working? No. So if you watch the video, you can see how the process looks like. So you work with your e-file, and the purpose is to remove all dead skin you can't see by eye almost. And it's a more effective way than to use a file, for example. And I will also explain all the different like pressure types, the speed, and which mode you're going to work with. Let's take the next slide. Okay, so diamond bead, which are these ones. They're suitable for normal to sensitive skin and cuticles. So if you see on this picture, you can see that on the left one, that she doesn't have much cuticle skin, like, and her skin doesn't look super rough. So this is like totally normal. Most people have this particular type of skin and nail plate. So it's a bit oily to normal, and you can see some dryness to the skin, but it's not too dry. It's still quite soft, and she doesn't have much excess skin. So of course, like, you can use diamond bits on all types, but in my experience, I noticed that it's much like easier and more suitable to work with diamond bits on this particular type. So normal to sensitive skin and cuticles. And let's go to the next slide. Hello. Yeah, it's a bit late to this one. Okay, so ceramic bead, I don't have it, but I will take this one. So ceramic bead is suitable for dry to tough skin and cuticles. You can see on the pictures here, we have a lot of tissue. So in my experience, the ceramic bits are a bit more like rougher, I would say. So you will be able to remove much more skin in comparison to diamond bits, for example. So if you see on these pictures, you can see we have dry skin on almost every example. And there's a lot of cuticle tissue. And cuticle tissue is the tissue that is not by the cuticle fold, or what to say. So the cuticle, the real cuticle is on the nail plate. You can see that really clear on the picture to the right, down. The downside with the ceramic bits is that it's so easy to have too much pressure. And the thing is, when you work with ceramic bits, it looks like it's like more glossy when you work in comparison to diamond base. It leaves like a buffered surface, like if you have used a buffer or a file. So sometimes it's quite hard to see what you're doing with the ceramic bed. And if you are using it improperly, you may cause rings of fire, which you can see on the top to the right, like the red marks. But almost every picture here has that red mark. So it's very common that when you have people coming in that has really dry and rough cuticles, you have too much pressure. And you shouldn't have too much pressure. You should work like the same style, as I will show you later. And that's why it's really common to have these rings of fire, for example. And it means that the nail plate has been thinned down. So once it goes down to the free edge, you will experience cracks, for example. Also, sometimes you can cause permanent damage because we have the lunula. And the lunula is like this white part by the cuticle fold almost. And that's also a part of the matrix area. And the matrix is creating the nail. So that's why if you are repeatedly using too much pressure around that area, you may have thinner nails permanently. Let's take the other slide. It's so, okay, no. I don't know why this is so not responding to me. Okay, yeah, that's right. So technique. So if you are looking on me here, we have different modes on the E5. So we have forward and we have reverse, and we also have different RPM. That's short for rotations per minute. So the optimal rotations per minute is 15,000 to 18,000. And usually if you have your E5, you can see it on display, for example. I'm just going to admit another person. Yeah, so you can usually see it on the display on your E-file, but some E-files doesn't have this display. So usually for most E-files, it should be around like the first to the second mark, or what to say. Let's say that you have like 6 different types of speeds, then it would be around 1 or 2, that type of speed. So it's not that super high speed. And if you have too much speed, you may cause rings of fire, you may have too much pressure, and you may remove too much of the nail cells. So let's just see this video here. No. Yeah. So in the video, I'm working with diamond beads, very fine, and I'm working in forward mode, starting from the middle, working to the left side. And I'm working with like small rotations, like circles. So you should never work with like the same pressure on the whole side, would say, because sometimes you might not control the bead that good, and you might have too much pressure on one part. Usually it goes down to the side walls. So the speed here is, I think I had 15,000 RPMs. And I usually work on one side at first, the left side. And then I switch to reverse, which will be to the right side. So I make sure to not overwork the area, because this purpose is to remove dead skin cells. You're not supposed to remove nail cells. I don't want to thin out the nail. I want to keep it in its natural appearance, so to say. And if you are unsecure, like how much you should remove, I usually just like take something to wipe the dust off. For example, a nail brush or something. You can also use like an eyeshadow brush, and you can see better if there's something left. Other one. So the next step is to remove excess skin, and the excess skin is not the cuticle. Okay, so the cuticle is what we remove with the cuticle bits. So what we are removing now, if you have to do it, because it's only for cosmetic reasons, a good advice, if you don't know if you're going to cut excess skin, just take a finger and then feel like this. If you feel like, oh, it's sticking up or something, it's like irritating, then you can remove. Otherwise, you shouldn't remove, because usually it's only dry, and if you use cuticle oil, you will not have this irritation, what to say. So you can use many different tools. You can use a scissor, as the video will show. You can also use a nipper. And in my experience, and what I have experienced on my students, it's much easier to use a scissor, because with a nipper, like it's quite clumsy and the shape is not the best to really see what you're doing. So if you look on the picture here or the video, you can see it's like rounded. It's following the natural shape of the cuticle. So I will talk more about the skin once we have seen the video. Yeah, now. So before you cut, no. Before you cut, you're supposed to see this skin, okay? So the only thing you're removing is the white part here. So if you don't have this white part showing, you're not supposed to cut, okay? And here you can remove like the small pieces with the nipper if you want. Okay, so next slide. So we have, everybody here has had a person with overgrown cuticles. So overgrown skin is called Bacterial, and it means like you have abnormal skin that is developing. I need my coffee, guys. It has like grown out. That is not normal. You can have it everywhere. You can have it on your feet. You can have it on your elbows. You can have it in your ears and stuff. So, Pterygium is like a term for abnormal skin tissue. So you can see. So if you look on the step 1, you can see this is like the normal tissue everybody has. So you have like the KPNF, the keratinocyte proximal tissue, which is like the finger skin, like the end of the finger skin. And like that's like normal, everybody has that. But some people have it like connected. So the cuticle and the KPNF is connected, and you can see how it develops. So if you look on step 2, So it will like fuse together. You can see like the KPNF is like going down a bit. And then we look on step 3. You can see now that that might be like the picture we have on the left side. So it's like, this is like a not super bad place, but it can be worse. And then we see the step 4. So as the nail plate grows, the PNF is like growing with it. So that's why some people have a lot of bacterium and some people don't have it. Next slide. Yeah. So all of us have experienced bleeding, and bleeding, like, it's really like not a big deal if you are using clean tools. Okay, they are sterilized, and like you make sure to tell your client like to really keep her hygiene up afterwards. So I will just explain like the skin layers in the fingernails. So like the skin structure is the same on all our body, but our feet and our fingers, like the finger skin, it has a thicker epidermis. Okay, so I couldn't find any like a good picture of that, but imagine like that the epidermis like double the size. Okay, so, and we don't have any hair and stuff, so ignore the hair. Yeah, so what we are removing, like the KPNF, the keratinized proximal nail fold, it is the stratum corneum, which is like the dead skin. So it means that the living cells, the keratinocytes, has like, they are round, the cells are round, and once they grow out, they get flat. And once they get flat, they're called corneocytes. And corneocytes are totally dead skin cells. So we have the KPNF consisting of corneocytes. We have our nail plate, is also of corneocytes. And then like the upper layer of our skin is also corneocytes. And that's the thing you're going to like scrub when you're in the shower and stuff. Yeah, so usually like there's no problem to remove the corneocytes, but you can remove too much, and it means you're cutting down in the epidermis. And epidermis, it's like not totally dead, okay? So the epidermis, it has 6 different layers, and it's so thin, so it's so easy to cut too much, and you might go down to the dermis or only to the epidermis. So how you know the difference? So when you cut the epidermis, you will see that the skin looks more like pink. There's no bleeding going on, but it looks pink, and it can be really sensitive to touch. If you're cutting in the dermis, it will start to bleed. Okay, so we don't want to cut in the epidermis or the dermis, only cut the dead skin cells or the upper layer. And sometimes it's really hard to know how much you're going to cut. In that way, I think it's best to do your manicure with the electric drill, and then to really see, okay, is it any like excess skin showing? And if there's nothing, you don't touch it, okay? Because it's so easy to take too much. 1 second, my phone is weird. Okay. Let's have it here. Sorry, guys. Okay, still see my other phone. I can't see anything. I just need to shake. Okay, I can see. Good. Okay, let's go back. How to make this big? Yeah. No. Okay. No. Okay, guys. Yeah. So I just need to remove myself so I don't get distracted by my face. Yeah. So the problem is that if you cut into the epidermis, you're cutting the keratinocytes. And the keratinocytes, they have a purpose. So the purpose is to develop corneocytes. And the corneocytes, like, their purpose is to protect the skin. And they will like shed eventually. So like our body have a natural process of removing dead skin. Okay, so that's why like there's no necessity to cut the skin. And sometimes when you cut the skin, and especially if you cut down to the epidermis, the body will react to like, okay, we get like something, a pressure, and we need to adjust this, so they make the skin thicker. So that's why some people experience that their cuticles get much thicker, harder, and they get more KPNF, for example. So that means if that happens to you or your clients, it means you have cut too much or gave too much damage to the skin. So that's why you have to be really careful when you remove, and you have to have a proper training in that and to really understand the structure of the skin. For example, I'm just going to check the chat. Okay, so I got some questions. I will answer them. En fråga, ibland tycker jag att en vit del trycks in under nagelbandet när jag filar med elfil. Betyder att jag har fel bit. Menar du lenulan, Sara? Hur gör man med kunder som har extremt hård eponychium? Vilken bit ska man ha? Jag kommer gå igenom det här, men bara så att du vet, det heter inte eponychium i nagelbandet. Eponychium ligger under huden, man kan inte se den. Once the answer, I'll also take this in English so everybody understands. Yeah, so other things that some people may not think about is that we have a lot of pathogens, bacterials, we have infections, risks and stuff. So something that's really known in the nail industry is to get fungus, for example, and pseudomonas. And pseudomonas is the greeny, like the green part. And let's say like that's like the least you should be worried about, okay? So what you'd be worried about is to get bacterial infections and even bloodborne pathogens. And they're not like super common to get, like hepatitis B or C, and HIV is even like more uncommon. But if you have a client before that may like start to bleed and you get some blood things on your tools, and then you're not clean them properly because you have to really sterilize them. And the proper way to sterilize tools that has blood on them is to have an autoclave, a sterilizer. And they are super expensive. They cost around $700 or more. So the ones you see like this UV sterilizer for like $100, they're not enough, okay? So don't waste your money on that because the government is not accepting those to remove bloodborne pathogens, okay? So what you can do is to boil them in water, but it's also like you can't be completely sure if it's enough that all the pathogens is gone. And the best thing is to throw away your tools if you get blood on them, okay? So we don't want to give our next client hepatitis B or C or HIV, but HIV is really hard to get by those tools, but you never know. And something else that is really common actually, and really scary, is the bacterial infections, Staphylococcus aureus. And this bacteria is very like scary because almost everybody has it, and it's actually like it's supposed to be like your body is going to react on this bacteria, but most people don't. So you can have it on yourself. I might have it now, I don't know. It's very common to have around your nose, for example. Even some animals have it, but most humans have it. It's going to admit some more people. Yeah, so that means you can have a client. She's like, oh, my nose is itching, like goes like that, and then she goes to your table. She's on your I don't know what it's called, pillow, and you don't have like a disposable thing on top of it, and then your next client is coming and she might get an infection from that. even though like you don't have an open wound, for example, but you can even get it used to be there. So that's why you have to really make sure to clean everything your client touching. So you need to clean the table, you need to clean the lamp, you have to clean everything that she's touching. Okay, and you should never use the same towels as well. You have to use one-time towels. And also a good thing is to ask your client to wash their hands before they continue with the service. Okay, that's like the safest way because you can't see this virus. And this virus is like you can get everything from it. You can get lung diseases like normal. I don't know what it's called. Staphylococcus. I don't know what it's called on English. If somebody knows, just write in the chat so I can tell everybody else what it means. But like sickness in your throat, you can get infections in wounds, for example. And the thing with this Staphylococcus aureus is that it's multi-resistant. So it's so hard to treat because it like antibiotics may not work for them. And with this Staphylococcus aureus, you can also get this super creepy. Oh, I watched a TikTok. I should never do that, but it was really good to see. But she got Staphylococcus infections, and she got like flesh-eating bacteria from that. So it was eating up her legs, and she doesn't have any legs today. Yeah, so that's why I told you like you never want to do nails after this. But like it's so important to really keep your hygiene. You know, sometimes you might be super stressed. You had your client, you were late to your client, and she had waited for like a half hour, let's say, but you have to take your time to properly clean and sanitize the area. And the best thing is to use disposable tools, for example. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about this creepy diseases. If you have any questions about hygiene routines, I can answer that in the chat. Okay, so I will answer the questions I got in the chat. Den vita hudnagelbanden man ska peka upp, man klipper upp den, landar under nailfold. Om den hamnar under nailfold så är det inte KPNF utan det är Cuticle. Det du kan göra, nu är någons ljud på, somebody sound is on. Det man kan göra är att du byter riktning på hur du hanterar elfilen. Testa lite olika vinklar och se om du kan komma åt den. Jag brukar använda reverse och jobba liksom uppåt. Och istället för att gå åt höger går jag åt vänster. För det kan funka. Okay, I will take this in English. So she asks, sometimes the KPNF, like the skin you're going to cut, goes underneath the fold. And she doesn't know how to remove it. And I told her that that's not the KPNF, that's the cuticle. So sometimes when you're going to remove the cuticle, it's like it's pushed inside the fold. So I told her you can use your bit and have it in reverse mode. And instead of working to the right side, you're going to work to the left side. So you're going to work in this direction. That works really good for me. So yeah. Okay guys, so let's take the other slide. Oh, I didn't have any slides. I wanted to show you here. So I'm working, I can show you here, it's a little bit secret, but I will show you anyways. So I'm working on a basic course. Here, I don't know how this works. So I want to show you a little bit of different types of skin and nail types. Okay, that was the wrong one. Can you see? Oh, you can't see. Or maybe you can see. No, I need to do like this. Okay. Now we can see. So I working on this. Okay, so I want to show you the different types of skin and nails. Okay, guys, so on this picture, you can see a normal nail type. And this is actually the same person. You can see she has a normal fold here. Like this is like the most normal. She doesn't have an excess KPNF. But here, she has some stuck to the nail plate. And typically when you have clients that come in with this kind of excess KPNF, it means they are going to be very sensitive and they can bleed easier, especially by this area. So if you're going to work on this client, make sure to not cut too much. And then we have a dry person. And usually dry, they're like the easiest to do manicure on because they are not sensitive. They have really easy cuticles, but sometimes they are quite rough. So you can use a cuticle remover to soften the skin, for example. And here we have the other one that I showed you. And then we have this one. So let's take this one, how to work on that. So when you work on excess KPNF, you have to be so careful because if you see, like, as you saw, let's go back here. As you saw here, can you see this? Can you see the shake? Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, so can you take this picture instead? The thing is, when the skin has grown out like this, you can see that the dermis follows also. So the whole like structure of the skin is going from that like normal state to this state. So that's why when you work on overgrown cuticles, they start to bleed all the time. And you can't cut their skin as you would normally do. So if you have one coming like this, and this is like the easiest one you can work on, I will show you another example. But if she comes in like this, you have to be really careful just pushing up the skin, just to see how she reacts. And then I've done my manicure procedure, and then I just cut a tiny piece at once. And if I see that like the tissue start to look like more pinkish, it means I'm down in the epidermis and I can't remove anymore. And you have to tell her like, okay, we can't remove more because you have like this abnormal skin tissue. So usually when she goes on regular manicures and you're working like in the safe way you should do, her skin will go back to normal. But you have to tell her what she has. So just like go back like, oh, she didn't do my manicure the right way, for example. Okay, any questions? You can write in the chat. And there are many new ones here because you didn't show up in time. So I will just show the slides a little bit fast and you can just do like this. Conclusion, what to say. Okay. So we talked about diamond or ceramic grit, which one is the best to use for the skin or cuticle type. And then we had the, where's my pointy one? No! Okay, guys. This is my first time doing this, so excuse the mess. Okay, so the diamond bead, these ones, they were the best for normal to sensitive skin, like very like soft normal skin. And then we had the ceramic ones, which is like more rougher and tougher, and it's more suitable for like super hard skin. But you have to be really easy on the pressure and work the exact same way that you usually do. The technique was to work in forward mode, we work to the left, and reverse to the right. And the speed should be 15,000 to 18,000 RPMs. And the pressure, a good, like if you are not super familiar with working with bits, I suggest that you take an egg, unboiled egg, and just paint some, like take a Sharpie or something, just make some marks. And then work with your bit, super careful to remove the color only, like the Sharpie color. And the marker color, what to say, because that's like the pressure you have always. So it should be like almost not touching the surface. And the last thing I'm going to show you is how to work like with the angles and stuff with these different ones. Let's see this one. Yeah, so left mode, forward mode, and then reverse the right mode. And also if you want to remove some excess cuticle skin underneath the fold, I work in reverse and work the other way like that, clean underneath. And then when you remove excess skin, it's only for cosmetic reasons, if there's not too much sticking up like they have here. So ideally you want to have your client looking like this before you cut the cuticles, or not the cuticles, it's called the KPNF, but we all are taught to call it the cuticles. It's wrong, it's KPNF. Then we talked about abnormal skin, Bacterial, and this picture illustration is from, what is his name? I don't remember his name, but he's like a really good scientist. I will write you in the email afterwards. I don't remember now. And then we talked about the importance of hygiene, the different danger you can get when you work with unclean tool. Yeah, about the nail industry. So some country has this like more regulated that you have to take blood-borne training before you are going to cut in people's skin. And here in Sweden, because I can only talk from Sweden, how it is. Actually, like the nail cosmetics, they are cosmetics, they are seen as cosmetic, but I don't think it should be as cosmetics, because you are not actually allowed to remove skin if you are not in stick och skärverksamhet. So it means like you are allowed to cut in people's skin. For example, now when I'm working with permanent makeup, I did need to get state permission, what to say. I need to send in my hygiene procedures, and they had to go here and take an inspection of my environment and the ventilation and stuff. So that's not the case in nail industry, which is quite bad, because actually you're not allowed to remove living skin. But some countries has. I know that many countries in like the Balkan countries, Russia, they have that regulated, which I think is so good. Okay, some questions. How do you sterilize your bits? So if I have a client that has not got any bleeding, I just boil them and then let them be in like a disinfection fluid for like 1 hour, and I just dry them. So that's what I do before I have a new client. Which types of bits do you recommend to have a good like a good collection of cuticle bits for your work? So actually, I have all these tools. You can see I have it on my website. I can show you because I am selling Stalex tools, and I ship to Scandinavia only. So if you don't live in Scandinavia, check for Stalex resellers, because they have the best tools. They have a really good quality. So this one, I made like a pack for like the things you need as a collection. So a flame bit, this one, flame bit, dead skin removal, this one, and then a flat one. So the flat one is really good if you have clients that have like no excess KPNF, for example. They don't have any like deep fold once you push up the cuticle or the skin. The flame bit is suitable for everybody that has a fold. You get a pocket when you lift. And this one, you can remove excess, you can remove like the KPNF with this one, if it's not too thick. You can remove dry skin and so. So these are my favorites. Let's see. I deliver in Scandinavia, so Norway, Finland, Denmark, and Sweden. Do you throw away everything if it starts to bleed? Yes, so if I have a client and she starts to bleed underneath her cuticle fold, then I make sure to, because it's called like biohazard once it's blood, because like you're not allowed to throw away like blood and stuff in the regular trash. So you can take it to pharmacy, for example, or you can go to like a dangerous waste central or something. You have to check what you're going to do in your where you live, like in your state. It might differ in different countries and stuff. So if it comes blood on any tools, even if it's like she starts to bleed, and you take a tissue to make sure it doesn't bleed more, you have to take this also as biohazard material. So you are not supposed to throw it in regular trash, because if she might have an infection going on and then you throw it in the regular trash, someone might, it's like a danger for other people. So that's like how the government thinks, like you're not supposed to give any danger to a person. Ja, så på flamebiten så är det medium, och den här är då i fine, och sen den här är också medium, så är de här du får. Okay guys, so are you done with the lecture, or should we do the fun things? Let's do this. How do I don't share anymore? Stop sharing. How? Am I still sharing my? Oh my god, like it's the first time. Yeah, I found it. Okay, guys, let's do some fun things. Okay. And now my phone is weird. 1 second. I want to have it in this direction. Yeah. So I will show you how I do. Wait. Yeah. Now it shows. I'm learning new things. How often do you change your cuticle bits? So I usually change them like every second month or so, and I work quite a lot. Also, like if you feel like they're getting like lazy, what to say, and it's also a sign that you have to change them. Okay guys, so I'm done with this lecture thing. Let's do something fun instead. So I will show you how I do hand painted French, and I will have my beautiful hands. So nice. Can you see? Let's remove this pink so you can see better. I also have my other lamp. Can you see me? I look like a ghost. Okay. Okay, now you can see, right? Let's remove these. So I will show you how I paint hand-painted French, and also how I do a special autumn design. I just going to get some tips. 1 second. And this hand is from Aliana hand, and this one is without thread, like the steel thread, to make them more stiff, because I had the Red Iguana's hands with the steel thing, and my hand hurts so much, so that's why I wanted this bubbly instead. Let's see, I don't remember the sizes. Yeah, that's good. I have, no, I don't have these. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah. Maybe this is better angle. Okay, so I will start with painting. I want to have a straight shape. And I'm too lazy to buff them, so we don't buff them, but we usually buff them. So the gel, it's dark. It's going to sharpen the edges. And this is the perfect file from Light Elegance. I'm working on with the softer side. I use the thicker one. Now it works, but sometimes it's not nice to work with that. You can also ask me questions in the chat meanwhile. If you're wondering about something that I have thought about. Okay. Let's do French on this one. Going to clean it with some cleanser. And then I will take color. So I'm going to use this one. Yeah. Jimmy Gel Ideal Pink. So this is like a rubber base, but more builder. So it's quite hard once it's cured. I'm going to like that. Let's get some color. When I work with Jimmy gels, I make sure to have a really light pressure. And don't have like the brush down like that, because you can see it gets super messy. A larger bead where I want my apex. And the apex is the highest part of the nail. And it should be in the middle of the nail bed. Something like that. It's quite hard to work with this one when you have it stuck inside. So when you work with this hand, you're supposed to like take it inside and then take a tip and glue it on, but I don't want to do that. So let's do this instead. Cure. This cure for 30 seconds in a LED lamp. So when you do hand painted French, I like to do it as like the last step. So it should be like my color, let's say. And if you feel like you have a hard time if like it looks like wobbly and uneven the surface, then I recommend that you like sculpt it inside instead, like you do like an inlay. That. And then we just shape it a little bit. Let's sheet and just do like this instead. I wish every client had hands like this. So I just want to make the surface even. So you will know that the surface is even when you see that I was supposed to say stretch marks, but filing tracks are the same color, to say, like there's no dark patches, for example. There's no shiny patches. And I work with the smooth side of my file, which is 180 grid. And some on the sides. Inside with you. Okay. Let's paint. So I will use this one. Can you see? It's called Just White from Light Elegance Buttercream. And I will use a long liner. And move around a little bit. Okay, so when I do French, like if I do reverse French or hand-painted French, I like to divide the length of the nail in 3 parts. So I want 2 parts to be in pink. I want 1 part to be in white. Om du inte ser nageln så behöver du ändra i din view. If you can see my nail when I work, you have to change your view. So you take the speaker view. Can you see? Right in the chat, so I know. You can see. Don't do this all for nothing. Okay, great. Okay, so I take my long liner and I take some color. So at first I want to do a line where I want like the deepest parts of my smile line. I call these like djupet. The depth. I don't know how to pronounce it in English. The depth. Oh my god. Yeah, anyway, so enough with my goofiness. Let's do that. I have a really light pressure as I work. So that's like good. If you can't see the nail, Evelyn, just go to the view and take speaker mode. Okay, so 1 line. And then I want to mark where I want my lines to stop. So for example, you might have seen like what everybody does on Instagram today. They get this like rounded smile line, and that's so ugly in my opinion. And why you get rounded is because you go too high. So you have to stop before you see that the cuticle fold go inside, okay? So if you want to have like a super deep smile line, you have to stop here. But for this length, I don't think that's suitable, so I will do it here. I'm gonna mark one dot, and then do the other side, one dot. Okay, and then I will take my liner and drag a line straight down. Line straight. Där. Jag kommer lägga upp inspelningen sen på social media. I will I will upload this recording on social media afterwards. Okay, and now it's like quite boxy, so I want to round these edges. So take some more. Start from the middle and do like a half circle. Other side, I have to start from here. Go like that. Okay, and now we have a really nice line. All right, so I will use to make it a bit more straight here. So I work really slow. Oh, my nose. Really slow. There. Make sure to have, you can't have your arm like in the air like that because it will be, you don't have any precision. So you have to take your hands together. You have to take your little finger to support, and you want to hold it like a pen, like you're writing something. Sometimes I notice with my students, if they have too long nails, like I mean super long nails, you can't hold your tool properly. So if you feel like it's so weird, or weird, you feel like it's so, you can't hold it like a pen, take your nails down, okay? It will help you. Okay, the other side. Twisting the nail, can you see? Twisting the nail. Some more. Other side. Someone's sound is on. Remove your sound. Okay. So I want to make it not like perfect yet. So I want to make it more perfect. So take some more and press it down. Try to do a long turn. Because sometimes when you do like these small patches, so to say, small parts, it gets uneven. So if you just hold it and drag low and slow like that. We can sing also meanwhile, it helps. Go inside the corners. They are going to be super sharp. Don't want any weird corners, guys. Okay, so I'm happy. Let's cure. Do you have any questions? Also, if you feel like everything gets messy and you try to adjust it, it goes bigger and bigger and more uneven, please just remove it and redo it, okay? Because it won't get better. Trust me, I've done this many times, and you know, it gets bigger, it gets more uneven, the gel gets like runnier, so it's not nice. So last step, so if you would like to have like a more smoother appearance, I recommend to use, I don't have it here, but maybe I have. Do I have it or not? No, I don't. So you can use the Jimmy Gel natural fiber, not this one, this is just clear. And also if you feel like your nail looks like uneven, you can also take this one. I can show you actually. Why not? Take some more. So this is like a building basil. Oh, it's moving. Go inside. Take some. So I take some in the middle of the nail. Oops. And that. Work vertical lines and then you can take your liner. And then you can hold it upside down. And it's done. So after this, you can apply super shiny top coat. And when it comes to top coats, I know these Snow White ones are super popular and they are nice and easy to use, but they are more like softer in the surface, so they may get dull easier, faster, and especially for people working with chemicals like us ourselves. Hairdressers, people that clean a lot, they will have dull nails in no time. So white top coats, as this one for example, they have a harder surface once cured, so they will last better. And trust me, I have tried super shiny and no wipe top coat, and this shine lasts for me a long time, and my shine like usually never lasts because I clean, I don't take care of my nails and stuff. So yeah, so if you want, you can try this one after. Your main pick, what do you mean? If you can't see, you have to go to the view speaker. And someone said you can touch replace pin to see. Okay, let's take this one out. It's small. I don't know. Use my picture. Hide self view. Do you see? better? I love that you all see. Is it better now? Okay, see it big or small? Okay, great. How's the texture of buttercream from Ali? Could have the same effect if I place it with nail polish. Do you mean regular nail polish or gel polish? Like the texture of the buttercream is like a color gel, so it's like quite soft to work with, and it has more coverage in comparison to a gel polish, but you can definitely do it with a gel polish. Yeah, we can also do it with a nail polish if you want to, but I don't have experience in that. Okay, let's do our autumnal design. Actually, I will buff this so nothing weird happens. Or buff, I will file it. So you should never use a regular file on your natural nail, guys. Use a buffer, a 280 grit buffer is the best. And just remove the shiny parts. Just a little bit. Okay. So when I do inlays, I make sure to have it on top of the base layer, and I make sure to have my shape pre-shaped. Because if I don't shape my shape before, it will look really bulky. So for example, if you do you sculpt on a form, because sometimes when you sculpt on forms, they will look quite messy and bulky. So that's why you have to make it thinner than you are, like what you want the end result to be. Otherwise, we'll file away the edges and it will look weird and the client won't be happy. So I brought out many different glitters because I want to do, think like a marble glitter, something. So I just took like rose gold, gold, pink, goldish things. So I will do some mixing. And I will take a brush I use for glitter. Builder, base, builder, something gel. Take a dot. A dot. So when I mix glitters, I prefer them to be, I mean the gel, I prefer the gel to be more runny than thick. Because with thick, I know it's like sometimes it gets hard to cure probably. And I don't think like the shine is showing through enough. So I'm gonna take this rose gold. And another rose gold. I don't know what this is. Can you mix this? Maybe I never used this one. I'm talking with myself. Okay, let's stick with this. Great. So I'm just like mixing it together. So the perfect like texture should be not too like jelly, like too much like gel. So if you get like a tail, as you can see here, it means it's not enough glitter inside. So you want it to like, if you do like this, there should be no tail following. So the texture should be quite dense, what to say, quite dry, because if it's too too much gel in it, it means you will get an uneven pigmentation. Can you say that here? Pigmentation will be uneven. The coverage, maybe you say. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Like that. And I actually want a smaller brush. I will use this one. This brush is a Kolinsky brush. It's 10 years old. I have not pretty good, but Kolinsky hairs is the best, guys. So buy it now. Okay, so I want to take some glitter here. To work up towards the fold. So when I work with dry glitter like this, I just go in this motion. It's like tapping. Like that. Take some pink. This pink has some orange to it. Some, I think it's some gold or yellow in it. It's nice. So I work like I will do a marble design. Cure. So I don't need to cure it all the way because I will not apply more on top of the same layers. I just want it to be still. I also have a color, like something nude or even black underneath, if you want to make your colors pop even more. But if you have like this, like the right texture to your glitter, you don't need to have anything underneath. No, it said goodbye. I'm done. So the texture was a little bit too dry, so I will take some more the clear gel. So if you get something on the skin when you work on a client, I don't recommend to use your thumb. Instead, use a orange stick, rosewood stick, and try to not get anything on the skin. So when I work on a real client, I'm not this messy. Here. See. Okay, so the glitter is done. I will take some, what to call this one? Like, it's called like luster. It's like a very fine chrome powder. Taking the same brush. So like rubbing the same. Like melt together it's better. Är det dåligt fokus? Det var inte så kul. I don't know why it's so bad. Showing so bad, but maybe it looks better when I upload it and I will take pictures. Yeah. No, it looks, I think it's better like have it more apart maybe. Oh no. Yeah. Anyways, I will take a picture of this so you can see, but I did some layers. Gold, pink, gold, pink, gold, pink. So it's like a marble style. Okay, then I want some clear gel. Take this gold foil. Maybe if I have better light, you can see better. Never mind. Okay, let's take some foil. So this foil we get in smaller parts if I just touch it. I just go around. Something like that. I want to have some more pink, so I'm taking some loose glitter. And apply. Okay. I don't know if you can see, but it looks pretty. It's also like it's so much glitter now, so you can't really see what's going on. So when I am done with my inlay, I make sure to cure this excess because you're not supposed to cut to throw away uncured material because it's dangerous to the environment. So you take this tissue, place another tissue, and then cure it. So you should cure it for longer than needed. So 120 seconds. Okay, so I will use seal this. I will use the same building base. Large bead. It's so bad, I can't see. I will try that zoom thing. How do I change? Yeah, it maybe works. Or does it look better? It looks better in my phone. Let's try this, guys. I wanted to see something. Okay, so I'm learning a lot from you guys about Zoom today, so I'm grateful. You learn about names, I learn about technology. So everything run down to our sticky free edge, so I need to go and move it upward. So I am building the structure here. By the cuticles, not by the skin. Upside down. And if you have a runny gel, as this one is, only a couple of seconds, and if no, it's enough. And if you have a thicker gel, maybe 5 seconds or something. Sometimes you have like very high viscosity gels that doesn't even move around at all. So in that case, you don't need to have it upside down because nothing will happen. Okay, so I will shape it and then apply some coat. Where did my French go? I usually clean this one with acetone. Now I'm taking cleanser, but acetone is much better to remove everything. Let's file. I hope you can see something because it looks really nice. And if you want, you can also do it and tag me so I can show everybody my stories, your beautiful work. Okay, I'm too lazy to file on the finger, so let's do it like this instead. So nice. Take a file. See? It's much better with this zoom in. Thank you so much, Josephine. You could have said it much earlier though. Just kidding. So it's the same principle here. You have to make the surface totally matte, same filing tracks. And sometimes it's quite hard to tell when it's glitter, but you have to analyze it a lot. Back on the finger. Now the best part ever. Top coat. Looking super shiny. And we are done. Let's call this glitter autumn ombre marble. I don't know. So it's really nice. It will also be very nice to have it in reverse French, for example. So if someone can recreate that for me, I will be super happy. Because I don't have any time to do nails on myself anymore. That's why I don't want to show you my nails because they're so ugly. I have like liftings everywhere because I was too lazy and didn't apply any base coat. But like, what can happen? Liftings can happen, guys. So don't do that. Hey guys, we are done with the seminar. I hope you learned something. I learned something about technology. Yeah, so I will also post this on social media. On social media, so I know a lot of you came in late, so you mixed all the seminar parts. So I will try to upload it today, maybe, we will see. I can't find my French, but I hope you remembered how it looks like. Somewhere it is, I don't know. I have too much stuff here. Yeah, let's see. On this nail. This zoom thing was so good to zoom in. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And I will definitely have other seminars in the future. And if you have any ideas, let me know. Because, you know, I'm working by myself. I only have my own mind to think about. No, we can say that. But anyway, if you have any ideas, just tell me. And yeah, I wish my clients were funnier. My clients like only want to do like French fade. So it's good thing they have this hand. Oh, vad kul att höra, Agnes. Okay, guys, I will take a picture of this and post it on my stories so you can see it better. Yeah. And yeah, so thank you for joining. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.